It's time for the Rick Smith Show. Now, here is the voice of the working class, Rick Smith. Now, here is Rick Smith.
So big news. Got breaking news. This is actual big breaking news. Don't do this very often. Don't do the breaking news. Hey, look at us kind of stuff. But this breaking. That's why I've brought in my good friend Sarah Burris. She's a reporter over at Raw Story, rawstory.com, the website. She has a big story. Sarah, thanks for taking time for us. What is the breaking news? What is the big story? What is this momentous? What is this thing?
Hey, so our favorite New York lawyer, Michael Cohen, woke me up from my afternoon nap and said, hey, guess what? Donald Trump dropped his $500 million lawsuit against me. And the thing that is so major about this is Trump has basically been running from a deposition since he filed this lawsuit in April. Like from the very beginning, he filed it in April and he goes, oh, and by the way, we don't really want to do anything with this lawsuit until October. And it's like, that's not how that works.
No.
Like immediately you go, okay, let's do depositions. Let's go through with all of the court procedure, yada, yada, yada. They didn't want to do anything. And so Trump has kind of spent the last 6-7 months delaying until ultimately that's what happened, is he delayed it until October. Well, now the dude was supposed to give a deposition on Tuesday, and he told the judge in Miami, oh my God, I cannot be there in Miami because I have to be in New York for this civil trial. You know, the civil trials are really important. I have to be there to, uphold my name of my company and my family name and yada, yada, yada. And then he left. So basically, it looks like he lied to the judge.
Yeah.
And so Trump was supposed to show up and give his deposition next, I think, Monday. And so tonight he was just like, no, I'm dropping it. But Cohen just sent me a text message. He says, as I've said from the beginning, this case was nothing more than a retaliatory intimidation tactic and an attempt to hide from routine discovery procedures confirms as much. This is my favorite part. Mr. Trump's cowardly dismissal spells the end of this latest attempt to deter me from providing truthful testimony against him. Yay. My legal team and I now look forward to turning our full attention to holding Mr. Trump accountable for his latest abuse of the legal system. More to come.
Yeah.
So.
No, this is the thing that gets me. I mean, I remember him filing that. And I remember going, you're going to have to be deposed and there's going to be discovery. It's like yesterday I talked about Giuliani is suing President Biden because Biden said that he's Putin's puppet. Well, okay, now you're suing Biden. So his lawyers are going to comb through.
Destroy you.
Exactly.
They will destroy him. And that's the thing is like, then you'll end up having all of this information that could prove that Giuliani really was Putin's puppet. Like it could end up working out in Biden's favor.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what happened here with this Cohen case is it's like, dude, Cohen has spent years and years with this man, working with this man, and now suddenly he has an opportunity to have his lawyers ask questions under oath about things that he as a lawyer could not discuss.
Yeah.
And now suddenly it would, be in the public record from the court documents. And of course he wasn't going to get deposed. I mean, it's just the stupidest thing in the world, but he has gone on with this, for months. And that's the thing that Trump does, right? Is he sues people to intimidate them and forces them to pay months and months of legal fees and then drops it out of the blue and is like, okay, we're done here. But the thing is now it sort of feels like the turnaround is fair play with Trump. Now he's the one who really has to deal with all of these lawsuits and all of these legal fees. And it's got to, like, he's starting to run out of cash.
Yeah, no, it's starting to catch up with him. Now, Will, you go back to your little text machine and ask Cohen if he's going to sue for legal expenses for a frivolous lawsuit. Because can you just file a lawsuit? They go, oh well, we changed our mind. Yeah, no harm, no foul. Can you do that?
That is a good question because sorry, I was actually doing it as you were saying. Sue for legal expenses.
Yeah, let's see if we get a response back on that because
right?
Because it's always been my view that you file these, you better go through with it.
And Florida in particular, the thing is that they have the frivolous lawsuit laws too. I don't know what their slap suits are necessarily, but already there was the lawsuit that Trump lost when he sued Hillary Clinton and like 500 other people, and he and what's her name, his other lawyer, du jour, got fined like a ton of cash. I think it was almost $1 million.
Yeah,
so,
look, every I think it was Rick Wilson who said it, everything Trump touches dies.
Yes.
Or everyone Trump touches goes broke. Because today, the beautiful statement today, Mike Lindell, broke. We've lost everything, every dime. It's all gone. All of it, he said. Those are his words. We've lost everything. Every dime, all of it is gone. His lawyers are bailing on him, and he's still being sued by what? $1.3 billion by Dominion. Smartmatic is going after him for a huge amount of money. That guy, he better come up with a new gimmick besides a pillow and slippers.
Yeah, because basically it's going to end up being Smartmatic brings you pillows at the end of this thing. So Cohen responded, and so I said, are you going to sue him for legal expenses? And he goes, look at the last sentence of my quote, which is more to come. So pretty sure that's an indication of yes.
There's your answer. And the thing is the judge, and looking at what the judge did, with Trump, having to disclose all of the LLCs, basically lay everything out. I mean, do we now find out he's not as rich as he said he was, and he doesn't own half of what he claims he owns? And do we now find that it was all just a con, that all of it, that some of us believed it was from the beginning?
Exactly. Like, that's the thing, is I feel like we spent the first year of the campaign and first year of his presidency digging through all of these financial documents, and none of it really made sense to folks who cover this kind of economic issues. And
right.
For the biographers like Tim O'Brien and David K. Johnston, they're like, y'all, we've been doing this for decades. He ain't got no money. And interesting, it's one of the funny things that of all people, Joy Behar in The View talks about is she's like, he didn't hate Rosie O'Donnell until she started questioning his wealth. The second she started questioning his wealth, it was like, he was on her. And that was the genesis of their feud.
Can you do that again? But here's the thing, and I guess this is the serious question then, because I've been saying from the beginning he's been a con man. I've believed he's been a con man all along. You've heard all of the stories back in 2015 and 16 about all the people that he stiffed, the bankruptcies, all this stuff. Will it matter to the faithful? I mean, is there an epiphany? Is there a light bulb moment? Do you think for some that they go, "Oh, I was conned"? Do you think that's possible?
I don't know. I mean, we were talking a little bit before the show about cultism, and the way that Cohen talks about, living life under the world of Donald Trump is it's a lot like a cult, where you have this personality, this this God that you're following around like an evangelical pastor, and it's that Joel Osteen kind of thing, and people flock to it. And so I don't know. I mean, it's the same thing with him. Like, he, obviously has his private jets and all of his fancy lifestyle, and he probably has more money than Donald Trump does too. And in the end, that doesn't deter them from him. I think what will change is one of my favorite things that happened today. My favorite piece of news, other than this, obviously, was Representative Moskowitz filed or sent a letter to the Palm Beach County appraiser and said, hey, I don't know if you noticed, but Donald Trump has been saying that his Mar-a-Lago property is worth like $1.5 billion. You assessed it at something else. Is it possible that maybe he should be paying a hell of a lot more in property taxes?
And look, I said that from the beginning. If these properties are worth what he says they're worth, why isn't he paying taxes out the wazoo on them?
Yes.
As any one of us would be.
And the thing is if you look at all of those documents, whenever his property taxes went up, based on the assessment, his lawyers were, his accountants and his lawyers were on it fast. They were just like, oh no, we dispute this. Mar-a-Lago isn't worth whatever it was that you said it was. It's actually worth a lot less. So our property taxes are going to be a lot less. And so it's like it's exactly what the lawsuit in New York is about,
right?
Where he's playing this game of, it's cheaper here, it's more there.
But here's the thing, and I'm going to defend him a little bit because rich people get away with this all the time. This is rich group. This is a rich people thing. And the thing that infuriates me is, people would defend Trump. Well, he's just smart. No. This is what rich people get away with all the time. Trump has exposed it, and good for him. Thank goodness Trump has put himself out there to be exposed as the fraud that he is and the cheat that he is, so that maybe we can deal with it. For me, the thing that came out of this trial was his defense. And maybe you'll think it's as important as I do. He says, I can't overinflate my properties because I can always go to the Saudis and get what I want. And I'm going, wait a second. How's that possible?
Yeah.
And then what are you giving the Saudis so that they're giving you whatever you want?
Yeah, I mean, that's where this sort of goes from just a regular, everyday rich dude who's bilking the system to, holy crap, did he just reveal that he has some sketchy relationships with the Saudi government and that they owe him money for stuff?
Yes. But here's the thing. We find out today. This is another one of those things. And I go back to something I've said a million times in the Trump era. Think about everything we know about Donald Trump. Think about everything that we've heard, all of the horrible stories, all of the, those soldiers are suckers and losers. And, think about all of that stuff. And then imagine all the stuff we don't know.
Yeah.
So this story comes out today that, he's with this Australian billionaire and he's leaning in and whispering and telling him about our nuclear subs. And, my mind goes to this place of, are there any people working in Mar-a-Lago who aren't on some foreign country's, intelligence payroll somewhere? Aren't spies for some foreign intelligence agency? Because national secrets are laying on tables in the bathrooms. He's whispering to people in the ballroom about our nuclear capacity. Really?
Here's the thing, though. They don't even have to have their spies placed in there as employees. They can just have some rando pay $200,000 for a Mar-a-Lago membership and then pal around with him all the time, and make friends with him and get him a little lubed up and be like, hey, you want some pie? You want to chat about nuclear secrets? Like, I mean, it's just. It's so absurd, but that's really what was happening. And we suspected as much, but now it really seems like he's kind of just dangling it out there for everyone to see.
What kind of pie?
One of the things, right? I'm sure he eats a lot of pie. I'm sure he probably eats the fried pies from McDonald's. Right. They don't have the actual fried one anymore, do they? They do the baked ones. Anyway, so the thing that I found the most interesting today is you made me lose my train of thought. Dang you. What were we talking about?
Spies at Mar-a-Lago. On the foreign payrolls. Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, the thing that we found out today, in I think one of the filings from Trump's lawyers in Miami for the classified documents case, because they're complaining about how there's no secure facility for them to read stuff, and that's delaying things and yada yada. One of the things that I didn't know is that there are 3 documents that he had that are so secret that he can't even view them at a secure facility. He can only view them in Washington, D.C. And at that point, your mind is just reeling about what on earth was this document?
Yeah.
What were these things? What were they saying? And who was he giving them to?
No, and this is the thing. I go back to this story with this Australian billionaire. How many times has this happened? How many people has he, to butter up or to try and get some kind of favor with? Has he just let stuff out, or he doesn't even care that it's top secret or classified because it doesn't matter to him? He's just blurting stuff out. This is why you don't give guys like that the nuclear football. You just don't do it. You don't give them the code. You don't do it.
How many people is he telling Mike Lindell this stuff, and is Mike Lindell then calling up, the Russians being like, hey, I'm in this bad lawsuit with Smartmatic and I need some money.
Yeah,
here's the secret I can give you.
But yet I hear the right wing, outrage machine going on about, Donald Trump was, he was tough on Putin. We know he's got stuff on Putin. You go, really? I think it's the other way around. It's kind of. I think Putin's got stuff on a lot of Republicans. Or why else would they be doing his bidding? I don't know if you saw the statement recently that he basically said the war would end in a week if they could cut off access to Western weapons because they're almost out of weapons. So you see the Republicans in the House going, no, we're going to cut off aid to Ukraine. I don't know. There seems like kind of a quid pro quo there.
It does. It sort of seems like Putin is just writing the press releases for them at this point. And people like Ron Johnson, especially, it's exactly like you say. What do they have on Ron Johnson? What the heck was he doing in Russia whenever he was visiting with Putin there? What videos do they have? Stay away from that vodka, man.
So let me ask you, with all the craziness in the House and all of the fun and entertainment, day 2 of no speaker vacation, evidently now it's going to be retribution and vengeance. They threw Nancy Pelosi and Steny Hoyer out of their offices. Now they're going after Matt Gaetz. They're going to Cawthorn Matt Gaetz, which couldn't happen to a better person. In fact, we can change the Cawthorn to Gaetz when he's gone. Any thoughts on what we're going to see coming? What the fun and entertainment's going to be?
So one of the first things that I thought when all of this was going down with Matt Gaetz is I was like, if John Boehner was there, Matt Gaetz would have been gone a long time ago. He would probably be in jail by now. Just because that's sort of the way that Boehner worked, is he would, if he didn't like somebody, he would find information about them out. And what was that one guy out of Illinois that had the sketchy real estate deals? He got rid of that guy really fast. And really, it's because Boehner was secretly basically passing around different pieces of opposition research to progressive news people.
Yeah.
And that was, how he got rid of folks. I don't think McCarthy, I can't decide if McCarthy either didn't care or if he's so aligned with Matt Gaetz that he actually supported half of the stuff that Matt Gaetz wanted.
Yeah.
Because that's the weird thing, is he's been kind of a nutter for a long time, and he's only been forced to moderate because it's just bad for him in PR terms.
Yeah. So last question. Speaker Trump, yes or no?
Yeah. So here's the thing: is
a MAGA rally every day. It would be a MAGA rally every day, according to Marjorie Three Names. It would be the House of MAGA. Think about it. Could be fun. Could be entertaining.
Rule 26 of the Republican rules say you can't be the speaker if you've been indicted.
They can change that. They can change it. I got it on good authority. Real simple. They could change it if they wanted to. If they really wanted to, they could change it.
They could. They'd have to elect a speaker, change the rules, fire that speaker, and then elect Donald Trump.
Well, they got a temporary one. They got the bow tie wearing Wall Street.
Yeah, the only action that he can take is he can hold a vote for a new speaker. There's no other thing that he can do.
Well, we will see. We'll see how this. We'll see what happens. But I'm pushing for it. I want Speaker Trump. I think it would be a good thing for the Republican Party. Best thing they could do for themselves.
It's kind of the burn it all down.
Yep.
method where it's just like, here, let me just shove you off that cliff that you're standing on.
The dumpster's on fire. Let me just push it into the ocean.
Yeah, kind of. It really is. And you can just burn and drown out there by yourself. Have fun.
I was just going with drown, but you got the burn and drown. All right. Sarah, as always, great stuff. Thank you for the breaking news. I'll look forward to talking to you back here next time.
Oh, thank you. Have a good day tomorrow.
You as well. Our good friend Sarah Burris. Make sure you check out their website, rawstory.com. Find all the incredible work that she does, and I'm sure the breaking news. Quick break, right back after this.
From the steel mills of Pennsylvania to the auto factories of Michigan to the modern makers movement, manufacturing makes our nation great. I'm Scott Paul, president of the Alliance for American Manufacturing. We bring business and labor together to advocate for policies that everyone can agree on. Together, we can strengthen manufacturing and create good-paying American jobs. Help us keep it made in America.
The old factory towns in America's heartland have been taking a beating. Thing is, though, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. The Inflation Reduction Act will lower energy prices and create millions of new jobs by dramatically increasing the manufacturing of solar panels, wind turbines, electric cars, and energy-efficient home appliances. We're finally turning things around after 40 years of screwing over working people. But will we keep moving in the right direction? That's our choice as Americans.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
I mean, stop and think about it for a second. You know, all of the classified documents that found its way to Mar-a-Lago, all of the stories that we already know of Trump, you know, just telling stories, just being Trump, just being the good golf buddy, you know, trying to endear himself to his companion. And, you know, hey, you know, see, this is one of those things that I said from the beginning about the classified documents, and I still believe this. I know a lot of people say, no, he was going to sell them. No, he was going to do all this stuff. I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe I'm not ruling it out, but I think it's much simpler than that. I think it's, hey, look what I have. Look how important I am. Look at me. It's all about it's always been about his ego. It's always been a love fest about him. These rallies are all to feed his ego. It's not about the people in the crowd. Could care less about them. It's about his ego. And having these classified documents, having things that nobody else has, that's an aphrodisiac. That's his ED medicine that he snorts. You know, like Matt Gaetz, according to Mark Wayne Mullen. Don't know if he did it or not. According to Mark Wayne Mullen, allegedly. Save myself from being sued. But, you know, this is one of those things where him having all of this information is dangerous to national security. And we've not had this in any other president throughout history, that we were concerned that, you know, in his business dealings, you know, it might be, it might be a good sales thing. You know, if you've ever had lunch with a really slippery salesperson, you know how they like to build themselves up. That's how I see Trump. And are you surprised that he does this? No, I'm not surprised at all. Were you surprised that there were classified documents laying around on the table at a reception? No, of course not. He's careless. He's reckless. He's all of those things. Now, what the MAGA crowd will tell you is that's what they love about him. He's unpredictable. He's dangerous. Yeah, he's dangerous, all right. Dangerous to our national security. Because as I was thinking about this, you go, I wonder how many of our intelligence assets around the world have been murdered because of his loose lips. Because we'll never know. We'll never know how many CIA agents or you know, people around the world because they don't publish their names. There's just a star on the wall somewhere with no name attributed to it. It's just a story. Oh, someone was killed in a car accident on vacation. How many people has his incompetence and his narcissism, how many people have lost their lives because of it? So for all of those flag-waving, Jesus-loving, God-fearing American patriots, ask yourself that question. I'm curious the answer. Email me, rick@thericksmithshow.com. Right back.
I've been driving buses for 5 years, and my day-to-day routine is I wake up a little earlier than most people. I get on a bus, I go out, I pick up some students and make sure they get to school nice and safe. Here in Fairbanks, Alaska, that can be a challenge because of the winter weather and the icy roads. But I love the job. So the Teamsters are great. They provide us a lot of protections. They've always taken care of their people, made sure that our jobs were secure. We didn't have to worry about whether or not we'd have a job from day to day.
And that's amazing because before we'd be working 4, 6, 8 hours a day and only earning minimum wage was real difficult to make a living. And the Teamsters pushed a lot so we make something we can live off of and not have to have a second job. What absolutely gives me peace of mind, the union membership allows me to focus on this job without having to worry about whether or not my family is going to be taken care of. I'm Andrew Case, and I'm proud to be Teamsters Local 959.
Before we close the program, we want to take a moment to thank our viewers and to share a little bit about why we do what we do. At the Rick Smith Show, we believe that media today is almost entirely controlled by corporate greed. So we have now 24-hour news channels. But instead of 24 hours of news, what we get is 1 hour repeated 24 times, and with tons of commercials creating obscene amounts of profits. Information once presented as a public service has now become a private commodity. So when lies make money, lies are what we get. We get a corporate-controlled rage machine feeding us anger and hate, trying to convince us that our problems are right-left or red-blue, when they are and always have been up-down, the wealthiest 1% versus the rest of us. Our goal is to be an alternative to that machine, not as a news show with a fancy journalist out front, but as a talk show run by a union truck driver and a team of working-class heroes just like you. Everything we do, both what we get right and what we get wrong, is dedicated to advancing the interests of America's working families. No corporate ad buys, no think tanks, no focus groups, no talking points. We are media by working people, for working people. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you back here next time.